Donald Trump has said that the shooting suspect behind the shooting at the White House press dinner was a would-be assassin armed with multiple weapons, and that has also been corroborated by the Metropolitan Police Department. Now, addressing the press at the White House after the shooting incident, Trump said that the suspect is from California and is currently being questioned. He's been detained, has been captured, is currently in the hospital as further details came in. When asked if he feels he was the target of the shooting, this is what the US president said: "I guess." However, when asked if he feels the shooting was linked to the Iran war, Trump said, "I don't think so." Listen to this.
The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California. And he's a sick person, a very sick person.
This comes after Trump and other senior officials were evacuated from the White House Correspondents Dinner after loud bangs were heard at the event. This is the exact moment when the loud shots were heard. Trump's security team can be seen evacuating Trump from the dais. Vice President J.D. Vance and members of Trump's cabinet, who were also in attendance, were also rushed out. According to the Associated Press, the security incident took place outside of the room where Donald Trump and other officials were attending the dinner. Now, and as more details emerge about the shooter, as per Trump, this is what the US president said, that the shooter was armed with multiple weapons, including a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives. And these are facts that have been shared by the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, and the Secret Service. More details that came in: he is a 31-year-old resident from California, and raids are currently underway at his place. This is what the US president mentioned regarding the raids. His age has also been mentioned, and according to DC police chief, the suspect has been taken to hospital for initial evaluations. No shots were fired at the suspect. He has been detained. US President Donald Trump shared this image that you see on the screen. There was no caption that he shared with this image. This is all that was put out. And addressing the media just moments earlier, he called him a sick man, calling the shooter a sick man. He also said that he fought pretty hard. And then the FBI director, Kash Patel, who also addressed the media after the US president, said that he was the lone actor in this incident. All right, I'll now cut across back to my colleague Susan, who's been tracking all the details as they're coming in. Susan, a lot has now come to light regarding who this shooter possibly is. Hailing from California, that's what we know so far. The age group is what we know. And Donald Trump did not miss that chance to mention that, these are people from California. California, as we understand, is a Democratic state, led by the Democrats, that is. And what we also learn is that the suspect was armed with multiple weapons. There was a handgun, there was a shotgun, multiple knives. Seems to have been a bigger plan in mind. He was chasing and really pacing down the corridor, heading right into that ballroom. He was apprehended at a checkpoint. What more do we know? All right, we'll try to reconnect with Susan there. Susan, my colleague who's joining me from New York, will reconnect and get more details. What we know so far, I'll quickly go over the press briefing and the details that came out of it. Donald Trump mentioned that one officer was shot. The officer was shot by the suspect, who hails from California. And he was shot with a powerful gun, but the Secret Service agent who was shot at was wearing a bulletproof vest, and the officer is safe. And Donald Trump did not miss any chance at applauding and also hailing the Secret Service agents and the officials who held their own and ensure everyone remained safe. I'll now go back to Susan. Susan, if you can hear me, I wanted to get more details and just understand how you've assessed all the details that have been shared by the US President and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI and the Secret Service, all coming and giving more details about the shooter. Over to you, Susan.
So the D.C. U.S. Attorney, Siobhan, her name is Janine Pirro, said that the suspect has been apprehended. He is in hospital. and was being charged with 2 counts, using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. Pirro said that the defendant would be arraigned on Monday in federal court and that she expected more charges to follow. We also heard from the police chief that said the president had spoken to the U.S. service member, the agent who had been shot at, and that he's in stable condition. He also said, the police chief, that the individual charged at that Secret Service checkpoint, he was, as you mentioned, armed with a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives. But we're also learning that he was a guest at that hotel. We now know that the suspect had not been struck by gunfire, but despite that, he was transported to a hospital to be evaluated. But a Secret Service agent, of course, was shot and taken to a hospital. He's in good spirits now. So we're learning about this individual that the president said is from California. He seems to be in his early 30s. And, coming from California Governor Gavin Newsom put out a statement not only expressing concern but also relief that everyone is safe. Even Mayor Mamdani of New York went on social media and said that he's aware of what happened and that violence has no place in today's politics. You really see a growing concern about this political division in this country and how much it has caused violence, notably towards the president and his party. The president and also the Secret Service mentioned that while there is that assumption that the president was the target because there were so many members of his cabinet and other individuals in that ballroom, thousands, it's not clear who the main target was. While it's, again, allegedly it was the president of the United States, but we don't know that, and we're going to get more information from law enforcement and those that are questioning this suspect on what his motives were, who his target was, and also really more information about how he managed to get so close to such a high-profile event.